Water in 7 days to die will kill you almost as fast as zombies if you don't understand how it works. If you're sprinting around on day 1 without a plan, your stamina is going to disappear pretty fast. In this video, I'm breaking down every single way to get drinks in 7 days to die, from looting to traders, dew collectors, plus my favorite craftable drinks in the game and what they actually do, and ones that are worth making early game. By the end of this guide, you'll know exactly how to survive the first few days and set up a permanent water solution that carries you through the rest of your playthrough. So the first method for finding water that we're going to look at is going to be looting. So you're going to find water in most places where you might expect it. One great example of this is going to be in kitchens of POIs, point of interests, as well as places like coolers, water coolers. You'll find murky water, maybe an empty jar, possibly some purified mineral water. As of Alpha 21, finding purified water in looting purified water has been replaced basically with murky water, although I feel like I've found some purified water every once in a while, so I'm not sure about that one, but that's what I've read from the wiki. You'll also find water searching cupboards, and then you're going to want to search the food piles, the large, medium, and small. And those are going to have consumable items for your character, which will include drinks. I've also read that you can find water when searching toilets and also sinks. I find the sinks to be especially unlikely because you can't actually search the sink. But I have found stuff like paper and a pistol in the toilet before, so it's worth searching them. You may come across some murky water, you may not. But again, you could find the pistol, which I believe is a movie reference, and the Fun Pimps love to do their little Easter egg things. So I think that's pretty cool. The next method that we're going to look at is going to be, if you're really in a pinch, you can purchase water. So you'll have to run over to the trader, sell a few things that you don't need, make up some Duke's tokens, and go to the vending machine, and basically purchase yourself some water or other various drinks that you may prefer. Just so we're aware, vending machines have all the same inventory. I've just bought the water out of this one, that's why we don't see it here. Or you could also buy it from Duke himself. And then an alternate, let's see, then we've got the collection method, which is going to be through the use of the dew collectors. I recommend having 3 to 4 per player in your base and upgrading it as quickly as possible. So a fully upgraded dew collector is going to have a few cool upgrades here. The first one's going to be the gatherer. It increases the rate of dew collection. Then we're going to have the tarp. It does pretty much the same thing, increases that rate of collection. And then the really cool attachment that you can put on the dew collector is the water filter, which prevents you from getting murky water in the dew collector, and now it comes out as purified water, which is going to save you a lot of time and fuel in the long run, not having to take your water over to the campfire here and purifying it. And to do that, you're going to need a cooking pot. So when you're searching around in your point of interests looking for food and murky water, make sure if you come across a cooking pot, make sure to grab one of those. You'll need that in your campfire to cook water, to purify your murky water. So basically what you want to do is make sure you have some fuel in here, whether it be wood or coal or whatever you just feel like burning to cook your water here. Hit turn on and then go to this tab here where it says drink, select water and hit cook. It's going to take about 50 seconds and that's going to turn your murky water into normal drinking water. And that normal drinking water is not going to give you dysentery or anything, so that's really cool. So the next method, if you're in a pinch, is going to be finding a water source, which you can do using the map. We'll see that the water is kind of this dark blue. I placed this water source. For reference, I did not place this water source, and it's the same color. If you happen to see a really light blue box here, kind of like this one, that's going to be what I believe to be lead. You can't drink that one, so make sure you're looking for the darker blue. And so once you found it, what you're going to want to go ahead and do is find an empty inventory slot on your hotbar and go over and press E. And what that's going to do is that's going to basically have you drink the water. So there's a caveat to drinking this water. It's murky water, as you can sort of see in this reflection. That doesn't look too palatable, but you can drink it. Unfortunately, when you drink it though, you're going to take 5 points of health damage, and you're going to have a 12% chance of getting dysentery. On the flip side though, you're going to get 10 points of hydration and a 15% stamina regeneration boost. So one strategy with this is to run over here. Well, actually, so what I've liked to do before in the past is make sure I have a Goldenrod Tea, whether I've looted it or I've created it in the campfire there, just to conserve my water supplies if I'm anywhere near a water source. What I'd do is I'd run over here and drink as much water as I can to get that hydration bar filled all the way up. And if I don't happen to get dysentery, then I'll just continue on with my day. If I did happen to get dysentery, I'll just drink the Goldenrod Tea, and that basically cures it. So that's a little quick tip to get a little bit of extra water without so much of the negative effects, such as dysentery. You will, however, still take those health buffs, debuffs. Again, 5 health per time you drink the water. So in order to prevent losing health or getting dysentery, if you just want to drink the water here, would be to loot around and find the water purification mod, which goes onto your helmet here. I'll show you how that works. So you select it, you hit modify, you drag that mod onto your helmet, and if you click on it here, it gives a description. It says allows safe consumption of murky water. So what you're going to do is put that back on, and that means that you can either drink the murky water from the little cups here, or you can also run over to your water source here and drink that, and you're not going to take any health hits, and you're not going to make that wonderful sound, that gagging sound, and you're not going to get dysentery either. A method that I like to do once I have this water purification modification on my helmet is I go to a water source, I make a bucket, and I go ahead and scoop up some of this water, and I go back to my base, and then I go and I set down the water source there. And basically what you can do with the water source here is you can fill up all your empty cups, and you can just drink directly out of it. And from my experience, even though this is a 1x1 block of water, it seems to never run out, which is really cool. So that's basically like an infinite source of water for drinking. And then I leave my dew collectors for creating water for other stuff, which I'll show you here in the campfire. So you need water for a lot of foods, boiled stuff, of course. You need it for your pies and other various foods, as well as you'll need the water for glue and paint and other useful resources. So that's what I use a lot of my dew collector water for. And so once you have a lot of water, or just water in general, there's a few things you can do with it, and I'll show you those right here. So we'll look at just this jar of water here as a baseline. So a standard jar of water gives you 20 hydration, 15 stamina regen, doesn't do anything for your health or dysentery. My next favorite drink is going to be the Yucca Juice. You basically just need some yucca fruit and the water, the purified water. And then the Yucca Juice is going to give you 34 hydration points and 15% stamina regen. Then we've got the red tea, which is going to give you 24 hydration points, the 15% stamina regen, and then the 15% efficient digestion for a 6-minute duration. Then we have the Goldenrod Tea, which I mentioned earlier. That's going to give you 24 hydration, 15% stamina regen, and then it's going to cure 20% of your dysentery. Next we have the honey tea, which gives you 8 food, 24 water, 15% stamina regen, will also help cure dysentery, and it also helps cure infections. Another another honorable mention is going to be honey. And I'm just, basically you can't make the honey, but it's kind of a similar drink. It gives you 8 food, 3 health, and also helps you cure infections, which is really cool. Next we have coffee. which gives you the 24 water, the 20% stamina regeneration, cold resistance for 5 cold resistance for 3 minutes, and then the backstrap coffee, which is a little bit better. It's 24 water, 25% stamina regen, which is really good if you're biking around a lot or running around, or if you're mining and you don't want to have to stop to regain your breath. It's really helpful to drink one of these. It also helps in the cold with the 10 cold resistance for 6 minutes. And then we also have the beer, which is 40% stamina regeneration, helps you with brawling and stun damage. It's 1 minute duration, and it also kind of just makes your screen a little bit fuzzy. And then another great option, branching off of the Yucca Juice, if you've got some spare blueberries and snow, is going to be Yucca Smoothies. This one's really cool because it gives you 22 food, 78 hydration, 11 health, and then it's also got the 15% stamina regeneration, and then 10 of the heat resistance for 6 minutes. So this one's really good if you're taking a trip to the desert and you want to have a lot of heat resistance as well as conserve an inventory spot. You don't have to carry food and water because this Yucca Smoothie is going to do both of those for you. So that's a really cool one to look out for. Another thing worth mentioning is you used to be able to grab snow and put it into a campfire and then melt that into murky water. That's no longer a thing. You can't do that anymore. And you also used to be able to take an empty jar and go to a toilet and click on it and fill it up with murky water, and they've also taken that out of the game. But anyways, I hope this guide helped you guys with your water management skills. If anybody has had any other experiences with water that they'd like to share with the viewers in the comments section, or any other suggestions that they think that anyone watching this video might want to read, or anything that I could learn as well, feel free to leave that in the comments. I enjoy reading y'all's comments and responding to them. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.